more than a century, evil leaders from around the world have been trying to create a one-world government, setting the stage for tyranny with poisonous philosophies. During that time, many nations have fallen to leaders that shared these goals. Each time evil came, one nation has always stepped up to the challenge.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Premier Khrushchev has sent a message to President Kennedy today. The Soviet government has ordered the dismantling of weapons in Cuba, as well as their crating and return to the Soviet Union.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
Repeating once again our top story, Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev has been removed from power, and there are tanks now in the streets of Moscow.
We thought all was well, but decades earlier, the Soviets had infiltrated our universities and schools. They were teaching our children to hate America, and that Marxism is good. Their defectors tried to warn us, but we dismissed it as conspiracy theory.
He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on the subject of Soviet propaganda and disinformation and active measures. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean?
Psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. First one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation, because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy. Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it.
I would like to call upon America to be more careful with its trust and prevent those wise persons who are attempting to establish even finer degrees of justice and even finer legal shades of equality. Some because of their distorted outlook, some because of their short-sightedness, and still others out of self-interest, from falsely using the struggle for peace and social justice to lead you down a false road, because they are trying to weaken you. They are trying to disarm your strong and magnificent country in the face of this fearful threat, one that has never been seen before in the history of the world.
After the fall of the Soviet Union, new globalists and tyrants have emerged. Only this time, we have a government that is on their side, and our government has never been bigger or more powerful. As the world begins a descent into Marxism, it looks to the USA to hold the line. If the USA falls to Marxism, the world goes with us. Fortunately for us, and for the world, our Constitution gives us great power. And our people are starting to wake up.
I don't have to be nice to you. Nobody behind me has to be nice to you. If you don't like living in the United States of America, then you can all move to Russia, Cuba, or China.
And you are the problem! Every single local news station denied my story!
Follow me, and we will bring the whole system down.
The question facing us and facing our fellow countrymen is a two-word question, very simply, who decides? The American founders had a simple answer for that question, and it is found in 3 words. Those words are, we, the people, decide.
It requires 34 states to call for a convention. It takes 38 states to ratify a constitutional amendment. 15 states have already passed resolutions calling for a convention of states. 26 more have resolutions ready to be voted on now.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
The amendments are term limits, balanced budgets, and government overreach. The time to act is now. Learn more at thepatriotthinktank.com. Do more at theconventionofstates.com.